What's up YouTube? Welcome back. Today is the Lazy Daze channel and we're back at it again. Today you have Tubby and you have Jack and we're going to be doing some history reactions for you today, and we're going to be covering some World War One, and we're going to specifically be doing 1914, and it's going to be by the content creator Epic History TV. I personally haven't seen anything of his stuff. I don't think you have either.
No, I've not seen some of his stuff, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so we're both looking forward to sort of seeing what happens, getting a bit more insight of sort of what happened within the 1 year, and getting more of an idea of the time scale of things. I think is
go into more detail of what happened during that year and everything else. So it'll be interesting to see.
Because I've heard in the comments down below, it's been suggested by you guys that Epic History does a bit more sort of serious history and gives you a bit more information, whereas sort of extra credits and oversimplified have a bit more of a comedic effect. So we're definitely looking forward to this. If you haven't seen Extra History's content already, please go over to his channel. There will be a link down below. If you're liking our content, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we're just going to jump straight into this one for you.
Let's do this.
(1914). The great powers of Europe are divided into two rival alliances, the Triple Entente, France, Britain and Russia, united by fear and suspicion of Germany, Europe's new strongest power. And the Triple Alliance, Germany, which fears encirclement by its rivals, Austro-Hungary, clinging on to a fragile empire, and Italy, seeking gains at French expense. The spark comes on the 28th of June in the city of Sarajevo. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, is assassinated by a 19-year-old Slav nationalist named Gavrilo Princip. Austro-Hungary accuses its Balkan rival Serbia of having aided the assassin and sends an ultimatum demanding humiliating concessions. Serbia rejects the ultimatum and Austro-Hungary declares war. Within hours, Austrian forces are shelling Belgrade. The Russian Tsar, Nicholas II...
Hours?
Within hours they were shelling them.
Within hours? I didn't realise it kicked off that quickly.
Jesus Christ.
That's crazy.
You don't even get the reply, it's just mortar.
No, I think they got the reply and then I believe what they just said was
Let's go back quickly.
Yeah, one of them sent a ridiculous terms. They rejected it, and then within rejecting it, within hours they got it.
Austro-Hungary accuses its Balkan rival Serbia of having aided the assassin and sends an ultimatum demanding humiliating concessions.
There you go.
Serbia rejects the ultimatum and
They
Austro-Hungary declares
war. They reject it. They declare
within
war.
Hours, Austrian forces are shelling Belgrade.
They then start shelling. That's crazy.
The Russian Tsar, Nicholas II, feels honor-bound to defend Serbia, a fellow Slav nation, and orders the Russian army to mobilize. German Emperor Wilhelm II has promised his support to Austro-Hungary. He and his generals see conflict with Russia as inevitable, and the sooner the better, as Russian strength grows year on year. Russian mobilization is used to justify German mobilization, followed by a declaration of war on Russia. Germany knows war with Russia means war with Russia's ally, France. It has developed the Schlieffen Plan to meet this threat of a war on two fronts. First, its armies will advance rapidly through neutral Belgium to encircle and destroy French armies near Paris and win a quick victory. Then its forces can move east to deal with Russia, whose huge army will take much longer to mobilize. And so Germany declares war on France. 6 million men are now marching to war across Europe. Italy, however, remains neutral. The terms of the Triple Alliance don't bind it to join an offensive war. The United States also declares its neutrality. President Wilson and the American public have no desire to get entangled in Europe's war.
So at the moment it's only just Austria-Hungary.
Britain is France's ally,
Oh no,
but
so
at first it's
France
not clear
and
if it
Russia
will join the war against Germany. But when
and
German
Serbia.
troops invade Belgium, whose neutrality Britain has guaranteed, an ultimatum is sent from London to Berlin, demanding
Same
they
thing that
withdraw.
happened in World War II.
It's ignored,
When we went,
and
when they
Britain
went through
declares
Belgium.
war.
Oh, we demanded them to get out of Belgium and they ignored it. So then we joined.
A British expeditionary force lands in France, while the German invasion is held up for crucial days by Belgian resistance at the fortress city of Liège. German troops commit several massacres against Belgian civilians. The atrocities are inflated by Allied propaganda and help turn public opinion in neutral countries against Germany.
Yeah, we were just
France,
as bad.
unaware of Germany's great encircling attack, launches Plan 17, an offensive into German territory. But in the Battle of the Frontiers, they're driven back with enormous losses on both sides. The British Expeditionary Force clashes with the German army at Mons, but the British are heavily outnumbered and soon join the French in retreat. The Allies make their stand at the River Marne, 40 miles outside Paris. Their desperate counterattack saves the city and drives the Germans back. Both sides suffer 250,000 casualties.
Another 250,000. We're at
The race to the sea
600,000 already
begins
on
as
both
both
sides.
sides try to outflank each other to the north. A series of clashes leads to the First Battle of Ypres, where the Allies desperately cling on and prevent a German breakthrough. There are more heavy losses on both sides.
Oh my
The two armies then dig in along the entire 350-mile front, seeking shelter from deadly machine gun fire and artillery shells. Trench warfare has begun.
It's honestly a different lifestyle, trench warfare.
Trench warfare is just completely and utterly incredible.
Do you think you could have survived? That's my question. Put it in the comment box.
Yeah, do you reckon you could
I
have?
don't
'Cause
think I could.
The first of its kind ever. And it's basically the second your captain blows that whistle, you are up and over that trench and storming. Literally running into machine gun fire.
It's horrific. We're so lucky.
It's horrible, man.
Yeah, the thought of that is horrific to me.
Like, you can't just turn around. You've got to do it for your country.
You've got to do it.
Just
You've got to do it. You have no choice.
Straight into machine gun fire and
Yeah.
hoping for the best over dead no man's land.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
British warships win the first naval battle of the war at Heligoland Bight, sinking 3 German cruisers. Britain has the most powerful navy in the world, 29 modern battleships to Germany's 19. They now impose a naval blockade on Germany, preventing contraband goods, including food, from reaching it by sea. The aim is to bring Germany's economy to its knees and force it to surrender. But a week later, the British cruiser HMS Pathfinder becomes the first victim in history of a lethal new weapon, the submarine-launched torpedo. German submarines, or U-boats, have a surface range of 9,000 miles and can attack undetected from beneath the waves. They herald a deadly new challenge to Britain's command of the seas.
Whoa.
That's nah.
Yeah, that range on that map was insane.
On the Eastern Front, Russian armies
German
invade
U-boats, eh?
East Prussia,
Scary.
but they blunder
Scary
into
if
disaster
you're
at the
like
Battle of
baby.
Tannenberg, where General von Hindenburg and his Chief of Staff, Erich Ludendorff, mastermind a brilliant German victory, taking 90,000 prisoners and destroying an entire Russian army. the Russians contribute to their own defeat by transmitting uncoded wireless messages.
This is still only audio.
A second massive German victory at Masurian Lakes forces the
Uncoded
Russians into
messages,
retreat.
then.
In just 6 weeks, the Russian army suffers nearly 1/3 casualties. Meanwhile, Austro-Hungary's invasion of Serbia suffers a humiliating reverse at the Battle of Tsar. Austro-Hungary's offensive against Russia also ends in disaster and retreat, with the loss of more than 300,000 men. The fortress town of Przemysl is cut off and besieged by the Russians. The Germans are forced to come to the rescue, launching a diversionary attack towards Warsaw. It leads to weeks of brutal winter fighting around the Polish city of Łódź, but there is no clear winner. Meanwhile, the Turkish Ottoman Empire has joined the Central Powers, declaring war on its old enemy, Russia. Turkish warships bombard the Russian ports of Odessa
I didn't
and
realise the Ottoman
Sevastopol,
Empire got in so late.
while in the Caucasus,
Towards the
Russian
end of
troops
the
cross
first
the
year.
Turkish frontier.
Oh shit.
Beyond Europe, the war rages on the world's oceans and in far-flung European colonies. German troops cross into British East Africa, modern Kenya, and occupy Taveta,
Oh.
while Allied forces seize the German colony of Togoland, modern Togo. But British forces invading German Cameroon are defeated at Garoua and Nsangakon, while a 3,000-strong force attacking German Southwest Africa, modern Namibia, is captured at Sanfontaine. A month later, British landings at Tanga end in chaos and defeat at the hands of a much smaller German force led by Colonel von Lettow-Vorbeck. Cut off from Germany, Lettow-Vorbeck goes on to wage a highly successful guerrilla war against the Allies, tying down huge numbers of troops.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
In Asia, Japan honors its treaty with Britain and declares war on Germany. Japanese forces go on to seize the German naval base at Tsingtao. The German colonies of Samoa and New Guinea surrender to troops from New Zealand and Australia. But in the Pacific, off the coast of Chile, German Admiral von Spee's powerful East Asia squadron sinks 2 British cruisers at the Battle of Coronel. Both ships are lost with all hands. 5 weeks later, he runs into a British naval task force at the Falkland Islands. 4 of the 5 German cruisers are sunk. Von Spee goes down with his flagship. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, British troops seize control of the Ottoman port of Basra, securing access to the vital Persian oil that fuels the British fleet.
Okay. Russia's ally. Winner.
That winter, Austrian troops finally capture Belgrade. But the Serbs then counterattack and drive them back once more. The fighting in Serbia has already cost around 200,000 casualties on each side. In the North Sea, German warships mount a hit-and-run raid against English coastal towns, shelling Hartlepool, Whitby and Scarborough, and killing more than 100 civilians.
Oh dear.
Shit. Only 100.
On the Western Front, the French launched their first major offensive against the German lines. But the First Battle of Champagne leads to small gains at a cost of...
I can't imagine a U-boat doing a quick hit and run job.
It's not a U-boat. It's like they're
Or the battle. I can't imagine one of them doing a quick hit and run job.
They're not doing hit and run.
That's what he's just said. He's just said it was a hit and run. They literally just...
It's not really
Yeah,
a
no,
hit and run. What they're doing is they're driving along the coast.
Yeah, and they're just fucking hammering.
Yeah, but what he means by hit and run is you hit one town, and then obviously as they're moving,
Yeah,
they hit another town,
I know.
you know?
But it's just insane, like...
Yeah.
None...
Yeah. I'm surprised Southend didn't get hit.
No, because where they are, it's kind of like where Belgium is.
Yeah, it is.
So, I can't believe our naval was that.
Yeah, look on the map, just for reference. Southend is like here, right? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They actually come across this way, so it does make sense because France is like all here. Like, yeah, that does make sense. But that would be like, it would be crazy. Like just sitting in your house and then just hearing,
just getting fucking shelled.
Just hear, yeah.
Nah.
90,000 casualties. While in the Caucasus, an Ottoman offensive through the mountains in midwinter ends in disaster at Sarikamish. Turkish casualties total 60,000, many frozen to death. On the Western Front, that first Christmas is marked in some sectors by a short truce and games of football in no man's land, the killing zone between the trenches.
Now that gives you a bit of faith in humanity.
That is a story, isn't it, that you've always been told. Like
in
Christmas
Britain,
Day,
I've always been told that.
Like armed forces of like Germany and Brits, and I think a few, maybe another one as well that was like French as well, maybe. But the Allied, they would literally just play football on the trench for the whole day
on Christmas. I don't know if it was the whole day,
or just for a little while anyway. But then the next day it was just gun blazing again.
Yeah, because I remember hearing like officers were getting orders to like get their men back in the trenches. Like, but it gives you a bit of faith in humanity that people can go, do you know what? It's this one day.
It's one day we can have a laugh.
We just need something. Do you know what I mean? Well then, that was very interesting. So much happened within the first year. So that was the end of that series. I thought that was really, really interesting. Or that year.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that episode.
Sorry. I can't believe there was that many casualties on either side, like each time.
I know. In so many different little battles as well. Like, there's just so much.
Fucking ridiculous.
It definitely gives you a lot more information, but it's still in a lot of short time, so it's hard to retain it.
It is in that short period of time where that's happening. You just don't kind of believe how many people are lost in that. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane. We've got another couple of years to go. That's so interesting.
That is.
It was interesting to see how the Ottoman Empire didn't join until sort of towards the end of the first year. It obviously took Germany invading through Belgium for us to actually get involved Britain.
Well, I didn't know that the German commanders, they were so tactical. They were so well in their tactics.
Yeah.
Like guerrilla warfare, and he in a small little army was taking out much larger forces.
Yeah,
like, that's skill. Country. That's a lot of skill
for any commander.
That really is. Imagine really being part of that squad. You've got to somehow just be like, right, there's barely any of us, but this one bloke is keeping us all away.
Yeah, he's able to do it. This one guy is able to keep up with the tactics.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I think there's quite a few commanders in here you'll sort of see as well.
Yeah.
And there's a lot in World War II as well. But if you guys are enjoying that content, we're going to jump straight into the next one. If you're enjoying this content, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, drop your thoughts in the comments box down below.
A link in the description to Epic History TV channel will be there, so go check his stuff out. It looks pretty good. We're checking it out now and it's really, really good.
And we'll catch you in the next one.
See you later.